for everyone who is here, thank you so much for joining. My name is Ashley Rupp. I'm the director here at SAP Engine for Marketing. We've got Miley Ramirez. He's the account manager, one of our account managers here at SAP Engine. We are here to discuss advanced analytics with SAP Business One HANA. Miley, do you want to give any other introduction about what we're about to see here?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you all joining us today. Like I said, my goal here today is to give you a little bit of insight into the analytics and show you how easy it is to create your own views.
All right. I think we can go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And without further ado, thank you so much. We'll be here back for any live Q&As at the end. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. And thank you for joining us today for our May live webinar. My name is Miley Ramirez, Account Manager. I am pleased to present today's topic, SAP Business One version 10 HANA, a look inside SAP Business One HANA Advanced Analytics. Let's get started. Today's agenda will include an overview of the advanced analytic capabilities inside of SAP Business One. In addition, I'll be walking you through a demo of how to build a dashboard, add some actions, and attach it to your cockpit. We'll follow that up with a Q&A session. Here are some reporting differences between SAP HANA and the SQL version. As you can see, SQL gets most of its reporting capabilities from Crystal reports. When SAP released HANA, it gave the reporting power to the users. As you can see, now you have the ability to use Pervasive Analytics and Excel reporting directly inside of SAP Business One in an easy-to-use format. SAP has made tremendous strides around its data mining capabilities. Once SAP released its HANA database, it opened a whole new avenue for pulling information quickly from SAP. You can easily embed dashboards into your cockpit or in transactional screens, build KPIs, and see real-time information on your clients, which puts the information at your fingertips. The advanced dashboard is a customer-specific view of that customer's data, where the users have the ability to further analyze the dashboards by filtering additional measures and dimensions, grouping information that is important to them. The Customer 360 is an example of one of those advanced dashboards. Here you get a 360-degree view of your customer. You can see it isn't just one screen, but rather a collection of multiple tabs, including general, sales, order fulfillment, and receivables. Users get a broad and deep look at the customer instead of having to scroll up and down the page or switching modules to look for the information. Another exclusive feature of SAP HANA is the ability to use Excel right from SAP, pulling data from the SAP tables. Now you have the ability to use a tool most of you are familiar with. You can slice and dice information as needed, save the reports, or send them out. Let's take a look. As I mentioned, after the demo, we'll be taking questions. What you're looking at here is my cockpit. And my cockpit is made up of information that is important to me. And so it could be important to me as an individual, or you can set up a cockpit to a role within your group. So in my case, I have a workbench here, which is my sales flow. But then also within this, I have the ability to act upon it. So if I need to create a sales order, I can come right here and start creating my sales order. Likewise, these down arrows allow me to access reports related to that information. So whether it's a sales order, a sales quote, AR credit memos, whatever might be the case, these down arrows allow you to access reports based on on that information. I also have a couple of dashboards here. And dashboards are information that I find important to me. So it could be the top sales reps, top item groups, top selling items. But I also have some KPIs. So just some quick bits of information that as I'm going about my day that I'll find helpful in making decisions. The other nice thing about SAP HANA, and in this case version 10, is that it has this Excel analysis feature. So by clicking this, I can do some analysis in an Excel pivot table, ways that I'm used to using, and it's actually pulling directly from the SAP database. So in this case, we'll say, hey, we want to take a look at, we'll do some sales analysis. And it pulls up that pivot table. And if we go ahead and we look at a business partner, and we want to look at it by net sales amount, you can now see our customers by their sales amount. But if I want to look at, which of my salespeople is selling to these customers, I can go to my sales employee. And this way is way too busy, right? I can't really understand what's happening here. So I'll just go ahead and grab it. We'll throw it into our filter. Okay. And now we will go ahead and filter by the sales employee. So we'll say the sales manager. And now very quickly, I'm able to see what customers my sales manager has sold to. And then from here, using Excel, I can go ahead and save it off, send it to someone. So very easily, I have information related to my customer in a snapshot. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and create a dashboard, and we'll display it here on the cockpit. So we'll open up our Pervasive Analytics. And here I can either build KPIs, dashboards, or these advanced dashboards. And I can start with these and then build upon them. So, whatever might be the case, I have the ability to grab it and then go from there. For today's demo purposes, we'll go ahead and create a new dashboard. Go ahead and grab our data. And so you either can grab a query or a view. In this case, we'll go ahead and grab one of our views. And so we want our profitability analysis. Okay, and then let's start looking at our gross profit. We'll look at it by posting date. Very quickly and very easily, I'm able to start analyzing my company and my business. So I can see what I've been doing year over year since 2012. Okay. And if I say, hey, I want to look at this quarterly, the information will automatically change. And if I say, hey, I want to look at this by group code, so I'll come up here to my business partners, grab my business partner group name, we'll drag it down to this third area, and then it'll pull up a list of of my companies by their group name. So in this case, I'll say, hey, I'll just keep these top 3 here. And as the data changes, now I'm able to see what my businesses have done by group. If I say, hey, that's too many, I don't want to see this many years, I can go ahead and enable this time slider. Say I only want to take a look at fourth quarter 2019 to today. And I can start looking at my data a different way, right? And I hover over it, and it'll give me a snapshot of that information. Okay. So let's go ahead and change that and say we want to look at a gross profit versus sales. So we'll grab that, bring it over to the measures. And now I can start seeing what my gross profit versus sales was. If I want to look at it in the stack chart, I can go ahead and change that. If there's different ways that I want to be able to look at my data, I have those ability right here. Okay, so if I want to say, hey, I want to look at it in a multi-bar chart, here it is, and I can see it. But now I want to look at who my customers were that I was selling to in those years. So let's go ahead and remove the year. And we'll grab in the business partner name. So very easily, I'm able to see the companies and what they've done with me. And again, hovering over them, I can see the net sales and the gross profit by these companies. Okay, so I think I like this report. So why don't we go ahead and keep this and do some work with it. So we'll go ahead and go up to actions. We want to display it in the sidebar, so we'll say yes. So we'll say this is Miley sales versus gross profit. Okay. We'll go ahead and make sure we link it to the BP master. But as you can see, you can link it to other areas within the application as well. And we'll say we want to grab the business partner name, and you got to make sure that the bindings are correct. So you can't say business partner name and telephone number. You got to make sure it's business partner name and BP name. Okay. And then we want to be able to trigger some actions when we look at these reports. So let's go ahead and say open BP master. We'll grab that data and select our bindings. Okay, we'll say we want to trigger enterprise search. We want to trigger it by the name. And then one last one, we'll do the advanced dashboards. We'll say open customer 360. Select the 360 dashboard and same exercise. Okay, and let's go ahead and save it. And we'll name this dashboard Miley's sales versus gross profit. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this out. And let's add it to our dashboard here. Or our cockpit. And so you can either search this way, or you can come up here and I'll say Miley. Right, and here is my profit, my report, my dashboard that I created. And perfect, here it is. So if I say, hey, I need a little bit bigger than this, we'll be able to see the data a little bit cleaner. Go ahead and do that. We'll update our cockpit. Now here's that information. So now I'm able to see that report that we were creating in Pervasive Analytics. And as information changes in real time, this also changes. But I can also right click and see additional information. So if I click on Maxi and I say, okay, what else can I do? I want to open the BP master. Right? So I'm able to open it, but now I have this analysis tab over here. But I can see some additional information related to this customer. So in this case, I tagged in the top 5 items sold to this customer. And then here is the report that we just created, the dashboard we just created. And as you change customers, this information also changes. Okay. The other thing I can do is I can trigger enterprise search. For those of you who are not familiar with enterprise search, this is a great tool. What this is doing is it is looking at every corner of your database for anything related to this customer. So whether it is activities, contact information, incoming payments, AR invoices, quotations. So if you're on the phone with a client and they ask you about something in specific, you can go right to enterprise search, and in an instant, you're able to find that information. Or if you're looking for something, you're not exactly sure where it is, come in enterprise search, and you can get to that information much faster. All right. The other thing we can do is we can open Customer 360. And what the Customer 360 is, it is an overall view of your client. So whereas in enterprise search, we were able to see information in a much more linear way, here it's a very graphical view of that customer. And you can have KPIs that are related to that customer, so things that are important. So as a snapshot, you're able to get an overall view of your customer, whether it's general information, sales information, fulfillment, and receivables. And you can also have custom dashboards along with this and custom widgets that you'll have in here. So you can set this up. That way it has everything related to those customers at a moment's notice. All right, I hope you found this informative. If what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and open this up for questions. But I appreciate you taking a look at this with us. Thank you.
SoftEngine, solutions that impact the bottom line.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Miley, you're still on mute, but I'm going to applaud you. Yay! Hi, guys. So this is the live Q&A portion of our presentation. So if anybody has any additional questions, when it comes to the analytics portion of it, we'd really like to engage with you. It looks like we have Tom Nelson. Tom Nelson would like to ask a question. Would that be all right with you guys?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Yes.
Here you go, Tom. Go ahead.
Just had to unmute for a minute. Quick question about like the pre-built cube that you seem, and that's the best way I can describe what I saw today, that you used for both the pivot chart and the pervasive analytics. Does that include a lot of the user-defined fields, or is that only including the standard SAP fields?
Hi, Tom. I'll answer that one. It comes pre-built with this standard SAP functionality. But as you could see there, you could actually modify those layouts, and you can bring in your user-defined fields as well. It's as interactive as it can be, because you can see that it goes straight onto an Excel. You can actually start incorporating some of the additional elements and use them as you filter them or build on the pivot table itself. Okay. by default, it starts with the standards one, okay? Because if you can imagine, there would have been no user-defined tools at that stage when they built the cubes. That make sense?
Yep.
All right.
Great, thanks so much, Tom. We also have, we have another question here from one of our clients that's asking about why the login and what they saw today may not be the sandbox that they have. So maybe one of you guys would like to discuss why some UX looks different than the others.
Yeah, so I'll take this one real quick, Flavio. So what you took a look at today was the version 10 of HANA, whereas you might be running 9.3 or a different version of the HANA database. And so that's why there's going to be some different look and feels of the product. Today, what we showed you was SAP version 10.
And just for those clients who may not be familiar, we did have a two-part seminar that Flavio did just last month. That was a two-parter, really diving into SAP version 10 and how it does look and feel so much different than the previous versions. So I'll go ahead and include that in with the recording that we have today so that you guys have all three, just in case you missed any of them. We do have a couple other questions for Miley and Flavio. One, we have a question, can I add dashboards to my customer 360 view?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, go on, Mike.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's really the power behind it, is that you are able to add your custom dashboards to the 360 view. You know, again, as I mentioned in the presentation, you know, if there are things that are important for you, certain KPIs, certain dashboards, you definitely can add them to the 360 view.
All right. Next question, is the Excel analysis available in SQL?
Not yet. I'll answer that one. not yet.
Okay, can we provide any additional insight or just
No, I mean, the whole thing with the Pervasive Analytics, it's really, it started with the SQL version. It did come with some pre-built dashboards, but SAP, as they move away from the SQL onto the HANA platform, all their development investment is going onto HANA. So you will get some of the Pervasive Analytics with the tools that allows you to build on those, and you could engage with Excel, create ODBC connections, and make them as interactive as you need. But it's not a built-in function as you're seeing that in HANA right now. So the purpose of that is to make it a little bit more user-friendly and require less technical knowledge behind it, because when I mention things like ODBC connection, then you think, what is that? You know, so you need a technical guy who will create those connections and so on. All right.
That's helpful. Looks like those are the only three questions we had from the team today. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to maybe pass on as far as wisdom is for advanced analytics, how they can find some more information if they're curious and, you know, bolstering that aspect or that component of SAP Business One?
So I'll jump in here very quickly just to answer the question from Johan from Easy Foods, if you're still there, Jonan, right? So I'm working with Christina, and because she's now managing all the upgrades, and William and JP to actually bring you guys to the latest HANA version. That's what Miley was saying earlier. So just so you are aware, you are still seeing the pre-upgrades that we tried to upgrade you guys with last year. So you're seeing the SQL version. So don't be alarmed by what you're seeing right now, because you will get the newer version, and we're actually superposing the previous upgrade with the HANA 10, and that's going to be updated for you, okay? In terms of insights for everybody else, so SAP is releasing a newer version of their web client that's coming in hopefully next month with more enhancements. As you can appreciate, the client version that gets installed in your computer is a much bigger application than what the web version is, because the intention of having the web client is to have it in a much faster and a higher performance manner, because you are using internet bandwidth. But eventually they start deploying and then bringing out all of the functions that you need, and then try to make it as your client-like version as possible. And in terms of, let's say, performance, it is on a HANA platform, so it's all Linux-based. It's much faster. Linux is known out there for anybody who's techie as a platform that is unbreakable. And it's an open source as well, which is owned by Oracle these days. So large corporation, you know, so much investment in there. So it is something that is, it's a partnership between Oracle and SAP. It's a reliable solution. And we've been seeing this growing up steady as a, let's say, a better system and improved in let's say 1,000-folds from 15 years ago, right?
1,000-fold, nice. All right, well, we have no more questions and then we're just about out of time. Flavio, Miley, thank you guys so much for doing this webinar for our clients. Yes, this will be recorded and we'll send it out to everybody who enrolled today that weren't able to attend, including everyone that did attend. So both people will get it, and I'll send some links on the latest webinar from Flavio as well. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.